well, this match is better than anything I've ever seen, so I can't just give it 5 stars. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get like an extra quarter star for every V-trigger hit.
The hell, that would be like Cisco and Ebert saying it's like, we give 2 thumbs up a lot, but this movie was so good, we're bringing other people in to give their thumbs.
So we're going to give this one, the 2 of us are going to give this 3 thumbs up.
Yeah, good stuff. Finally, the Divas match that was set, they were still called Divas back here, that was set for Vengeance was between Victoria and Christy Hemme. On the May 30th edition of Raw, Christy Hemme won a bikini contest featuring Victoria, Candice Michelle, Maria, and Lillian Garcia. After the contest ended, Victoria turned heel and attacked all of the participants, saving Hemme for last. In a backstage interview following, Victoria expressed jealousy over Hemme, stating that she was tired of Hemme getting all of the attention. On the June 20th episode of Raw, it was announced in a backstage interview that Hemme and Victoria would face off at Vengeance. Hemme stated that she couldn't wait to get her hands on Victoria, but during the segment, Victoria interrupted the interview by smashing a glass jar of all things onto the back of Hemme's head, busting her open. Because, we all just have glass jars laying around.
Well, hell yeah. Why do you say that sarcastically?
Wasn't a glass jar, Jim Ross busted a glass candy jar over somebody's head, right?
That was Taz, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jim Ross was like, well, angle alert. There's a glass candy jar sitting on my desk tonight.
Angle alert.
Wow. I love that. It's like, yeah, if something, like, of all things, I mean, whatever, it's the Divas match, and this was like, whatever.
Man, we gotta do the Divas match, man. Sorry.
No, I know a lot of people are gonna get pissed off that I say, well, it's just the Divas match, but seriously, up until the last couple of years, if people are new to the WWE and don't know this, the Divas / women's division went through some pretty dark times. Not saying that the wrestling was garbage here, but they mostly focused
well, I will. If you don't want to, I will.
Well, a lot of it was garbage. There was some good stuff, Victoria being one of them. She was always a good wrestler, in my opinion, very underrated. And
we'll actually get to that in this show.
Yeah, we will, definitely. And I don't know, they didn't focus on it, and what they did focus on was eye candy. There was a lot of bikini contests, like you said, pillow fights, and crap like that. So
I don't think the heterosexual male part of us is complaining. It's the wrestling part.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I always said this. I was like, look, I mean, they look good and all, but I'm not tuning into Raw to see this. I'm tuning into Raw to watch wrestling. If I want to see that, there are plenty of free options on the internet.
I will say this, too. I don't think you need to explain when you say the Divas are trash, because they were. Now, the women's division is not. These are apples and oranges. People need to realize that. This is completely night and day. What we got now compared to then, not even competition.
Well, it's funny to think that Paige and Charlotte Flair are former Divas champions.
I don't think they're bragging about that.
They held...
Matter of fact, I think Maria Kanellis is the only one bragging about ever being a diva. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, basically. They literally held on to that stupid butterfly belt. And yes, I'm calling it a belt.
Because it had no meaning and all it was good enough for was hold up your pants?
Basically. If that. Didn't hold up many pants, because in that era they didn't wear a lot. But are you ready to dive into the pay-per-view itself, Greg?
As ready as I will ever be.
All right, well, this is Vengeance 2005, took place June 26, 2005, at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. The total attendance was 9,850. The buy rate was 0.92, which equaled out to 420,000 buys. It was the 4th highest number in 2005, trailing only WrestleMania, SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble. Survivor Series only had 400,000 buys. So not a bad company for a quote-unquote throwaway pay-per-view, right?
Right, and also in the middle of the draft or towards the end of the draft, so it's a lot of stuff there, reason to tune in.
Yeah.
My first note on this pay-per-view, and this really ticks me off. I mean, I know why, but they edited out that theme "Happy" from Mudvayne, which is like one of the better themes they've ever used. That ticked me off so much.
Yeah, because I kept waiting for it, and then they played some generic rock theme, and I'm like, I mean, I know why they did it, and I was almost waiting for it, because I was like, they probably edited it out, right? I'm like, yup. Oh well. My first note on this show, by the way, because they are in Vegas, like I said. Obviously, this came 14 years prior to Double or Nothing, but with the set, it kind of reminded me of AEW Double or Nothing. And Justin Roberts is even the ring announcer.
And at one point, I forget I think it was, they were talking about John Cena, and they said he was all in on this tonight. I'm like, holy crap.
That's great. Was he also?
I didn't catch that. I was watching with someone, they pointed out to me, but he said, he said all in. We're like, oh. I didn't even piece together Justin Roberts' part until you just said that, by the way.
Right, yeah, because I'm like, man, it almost looks like Double or Nothing, because they've the Trons and everything on the stage, everything was set up to look like they had like a roulette. They had a roulette table, and they had some other card stuff up there and whatnot. I was like, cool, and remind me of Double or Nothing. Then they go to the ring, and I'm like, Justin Roberts.
Yep.
Oh man, it was funny. I always like that kind of set, but first match of the night, man. Something else I liked was Carlito defending the Intercontinental title against Shelton Benjamin. These two were, I think, just vastly underrated during their tenure.
Literally, my first note for this is, good grief, Shelton's so underrated. Why wasn't he used more? Or why isn't he used more? I forget he's still there.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this, when there was an era where he was feuding with Triple H over the world title. Can you imagine if they would have just given him a month as world champion, even if they were afraid that, if he's champion, he'll tank the ratings. Give him a month. That would have been just historic and amazing. I don't know. I felt it would have been great, but whatever. They get 12 minutes, 45 seconds, decent amount of time. Carlito had just beaten Benjamin on the previous Raw for the Intercontinental title when Benjamin fell short with a suicide dive and he landed hard on his back. They pumped that throughout the whole match, talking about it. Coach made me want to vomit with how much he kept pushing how cool Carlito is throughout the entire match.
Oh, Coach's look alone made me want to vomit. He just looked like someone trying to be cool, but it wasn't.
Yeah, his commentary was god awful, by the way. I forgot how bad he was. I know he had Vince in his ear telling him, say this. But gosh, he's bad. I think he's really good on ESPN. I think he's a good guy behind the table, but not calling stuff. Yeah, right. And I feel bad burying Coach after, there was... you and I went to the Hall of Fame ceremony in 2018?
18,
yeah. And
Nolans.
Yes. And I was sitting next to a mom and her son, and her son was mentally challenged, and we were sitting right up front. I mean, we were second row? And
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. You can actually see us on the network, by the way. I might have to post a picture of that on social sometime. But as everybody's walking by us, and Coach comes by, and this kid stands up and he says, "Coach, I wrote this letter for Jerry Lawler. Can you give it to him?" And he took it and he put it in his suit pocket, his jacket pocket, and he's like, "I'll make sure he gets it, buddy." And he winked at him, and I was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think he's a jerk. Clearly he's a good person, but that doesn't equate to, then he must be good on the commentary.
Yeah, I've met a lot of great people that sucked at their job. But another quick note about this, Shelton Benjamin, I got his autograph in, of all places, Ring of Honor. And
yeah, that makes sense though.
yeah, he's a super cool dude. Charlie Haas, kind of a dick. Just putting that out there.
So Jim Cornette's not always wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Charlie Haas wouldn't even look at anybody in the eye. Wouldn't even sit down. He was kind of like standing up. He'd like bend over, sign an autograph, and like look around the room. Shelton Benjamin was like smiling, shaking hands, and super cool. He'd talk to everybody.
And side note, the Briscoe brothers are like the coolest dudes on the planet, and I would expect them to be the jerks. Just saying.
Yeah, I got their autographs too. Yeah, they were pretty cool dudes.
I never understood with Charlie. I'm like, dude, seriously, what's your problem?
I know, right? He's got Jackie Gata as a wife. He's apparently very wealthy from his side businesses. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, the end of the match here was Carlito gets like kind of rips the turnbuckle pad off, and he sets up Benjamin. Benjamin goes for a stinger splash. Carlito dodges and like drop kicks his Benjamin's knee in midair. Benjamin nails the exposed steel turnbuckle, and Carlito rolls him up for the win. Me and Uncle Dave both gave this match 2.5 stars. What say you?
I went just slightly above. I said 3. I thought it was really fun.
It was. It was a good match. Definitely worth a rewatch. I didn't get bored. I'll say that. Good tone.
Just goes to show you how. Another thing, Carlito's another underrated guy too. I don't want to get into his backstage crap that they supposedly said he has, but like as a wrestler, man, he's so damn good.
Yep, so. Second generation wrestler too, with his father Carlos Colon being like basically like a god in Puerto Rico. Also, I have Jax figures of both of these guys. Just throwing that out there. First one,
I have a Mattel Chase Elite of Shelton and his gold standard look, which okay, whatever.
Way to brag. The Shelton Benjamin I have is for world's greatest tag team attire in his like maroon singlet. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Next, we see Triple H entering the building with Ric Flair, and the commentators say that Batista is the underdog going into Hell in a Cell because even though he's beaten Triple H twice, this is Triple H's match, so it's supposed to even the odds. All right, man. This next encounter. Victoria versus Christy Hemme. 5 minutes, 9 seconds. It was short and sweet, thankfully. Christy proves from jump that she can't even properly run the ropes. She was clearly still in training school at this time. The two women went back and forth, and Victoria led Christy through an acceptable match, I'd say. In the end, Christy goes for a sunset flip out of the corner, but Victoria drops to her knees with a pin, grabbing the ropes for leverage, and she gets the win. Me and Uncle Dave both gave it 1.5 stars. What say you?
I gave it 2. I was actually surprised at how decent it was. I mean, it was better than it should have been.
Yeah, it didn't completely suck. So there's that.
I want to say, by the way, I don't know if it's just me, but I noticed in this match there was a lot of choking going on. Like there was like 12 chokeholds between the two of them, like literally chokes, not like a rear naked choke. They were like putting their hands on each other's necks, choking each other. Did you notice that?
I didn't
counted like
that.
7 of them.
I didn't notice the choking. I noticed tons of hair pulling, which was a staple of Divas matches back in the day.
And also they mentioned this is something like would never happen today. Like not, oh, good Lord. They said that Christy was competing in this match with a slight concussion. I'm like, they would never say that today.
Yeah, no.
Ever.
The reason they did that for all of you out there was what I said earlier about the jar being smashed over her head. So, I don't know. But then she still lost. So, whatever. It's not like she overcame the odds. Christy was fine, I guess. She went on to have a second career in TNA.
Oh.
Well, yeah, she was very fine. Victoria in this match kind of reminded me of Terry Taylor back in the day, where very underrated, and they led a bunch of not so great people to acceptable matches.
I'm sorry, when you say Terry Taylor, I just go right to the Red Rooster. I'm sorry, but
how dare you?
I have a Mattel figure of the Red Rooster, by the way.
I want that figure, but
Good luck. It's very rarefied.